All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Handstand Athletics Radio. It has been a while. Before I recorded this episode, I was thinking, do I have any excuses for this? No, not really. We've been super busy at the facility, transitioning into the summer, and I just haven't made it a priority to make some episodes. Although posted some topics on the Instagram, answered questions on there, but I need to get on here and make these formal episodes for the podcast. So today I'm going to be covering kind of a topic that I was hopped on another podcast, Idaho Basketball Association, or something similar to that. I hopped on their podcast and talked to them about this, but I wanted to share this because obviously it's the summer. We have a ton of athletes coming in. I wanted to give you insight into like our approach to speed work, what we're focused on. Just having our speed camp kind of opened some people's eyes to it, I think. But this is something that is important, and I think it can give direction to local coaches. So if you know any sport coaches or anybody in charge of strength and conditioning for athletes in any capacity or form, share this episode with them. That's kind of the best thing you can do to help me out is just share this episode, spread the word. Obviously, it's a free podcast. So just getting more listens can help me spread the message. So first off, let's talk about since summer is technically off season for most sports. That's what I wanted to dive into is where should you be putting your efforts and what bucket should you be filling in the off season of sport. I know it can get confusing with all these different club sports and sports going on, and you've got basketball, you've got soccer. Really, when it's supposed to be an off season, that's unfortunate. That's a whole nother topic, a whole nother podcast. But let's just assume your athlete has an off season to a degree. Okay. So when athletes are coming in here in the summer, when it comes to speed, our priority is developing the skill of speed. So the ability to accelerate, the ability to decelerate, and go from there, because really most of sport is played on a acceleration deceleration scale. There's very few sports that you'll see a ton of top end speed and long straight runs in, other than like track and field. So you have to assume that most sport is played in the direction of acceleration deceleration. Also, it goes hand in hand with strength, right? Strength's a part of that, and everybody that's in the strength world knows it takes a lot longer to develop strength and muscle mass than it does to, let's say, get in shape or build your aerobic base. If we want to just kind of dumb that down, that's the best way to put it. Is it's easier and faster to develop conditioning and aerobic than it is to develop strength and explosiveness. So during the summer, when they have an off season, there's a cost that comes with developing strength and explosiveness and acceleration, and it has a high demand on the body. Okay, so it's going to take time, consistency, and then also recovery. So recovery is going to be a huge thing, and that's why we want to be kind of focused in on this in the off season, because in season you're going to have a lot harder time making adaptations when they have a higher load of playing their sport. They have a higher load when it comes to school. A lot of different factors when it comes to youth athletes, but in general, they don't have as much time or resources to recover as well as they do in the summer. Okay, they don't have opportunities for naps in the middle of the day. They don't have opportunities to eat meals from parents all throughout the day. So that's something that needs to be addressed and considered. And again, like I mentioned before, I don't know if you caught it, but speed can be taught as a skill. That's kind of in the past, it was just assumed that an athlete was fast just because they naturally have it. While there is some truth to genetics, right, there's also definitely, very obviously, the opportunity for athletes to get faster and learn how to be faster as a skill, as developed as a skill. Although they might not be as fast as the person next to them just because of genetic factors or opportunities the other athletes had, they can definitely get faster and more explosive as an athlete. Now, again, takes time, okay? But that's going to be your biggest separating factor. So if your athletes in the offseason are able to develop the ability to sprint faster, to decelerate, to change directions, to create power, create explosiveness, jump higher, those things are going to pay off and create more of a separating factor in your season, okay? Also, there's some awesome injury prevention that comes from developing strength and practicing these skills. So overall, you have a more per se athletic athlete. You'll have somebody that is faster and more injury resilient. I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay. Even if you come into the games, well, one of your arguments might be, hey, my athletes aren't in shape at the start of the season. Perfect. That's not what we're looking for. Your athletes should not be in the best shape of the season at the beginning of the season, because guess what's going to happen by the end? Burn out. Guaranteed burnout. Okay. So you have to think about their conditioning and their peaking throughout the season. Obviously, coaches know you want to peak later in the season, right? You want to peak when it matters most, and that's going to be when you're getting to districts or when you're getting to state championships. So those are all factors to consider, and people don't really think a lot about that. They think they want to just run their athletes during the summer, put miles on them. Really, you're beating down your athletes, but even more importantly, you are wasting time to develop these attributes for athletes that are separating factors that can't be just taught with inconsistency and throughout the season when they already have a high workload. Okay. So that brings me to conditioning. Conditioning is easier to implement. There's lots of different options, and obviously playing your sport alone is going to help athletes get in condition. I would say that's probably actually the best way for an athlete to get in condition for their sport is to play their sport. So that is naturally going to happen in season. So it also makes it easier for coaches to potentially develop some conditioning program in season as well to couple along with the games. That makes sense and is easier to develop. There's not as much thought that has to be put into it, and really it can be a little less consistent because they're playing sports, they're playing games and practicing every day, so they're already developing their conditioning, and that's naturally happening. Okay, so wanted to keep it short and brief for you guys today. That's kind of the insight I wanted to give you guys. If you are or do know someone in charge of this stuff, send them this way. Let them hear this conversation. We're always welcome to answer any questions you guys have. We also do consulting. We do some testing. Like if you were interested in our team coming on site and getting some baseline numbers for whatever we found applicable for your team after a meeting, maybe it's a 20-yard dash and a vertical jump. Maybe it's anything like that. Maybe it's a 5-10-5. Maybe it's any kind of let's say it's a basketball team and you have a basketball specific timing drill you want to run. We can test all that stuff for you, get analytics on it, and then retest at the end of the season, as well as consult you on how to train your athletes throughout it. That's a type of relationship we do, and it's fairly affordable. So if you are interested in kind of having somebody help you run through this process, let us know. If not, we are always happy to answer questions for free, give you some value, some insight, and help you guys out. I appreciate you guys listening to the episode. If you have any further questions, again, shoot them over. Darren at HansonAthletics.com. Connect with anything. My Instagram handle is Coach D Hanson. It's my Twitter as well. Hanson Athletics on Instagram. Just hop on there, connect with us, ask your question. We will see it without a doubt. But I appreciate you guys listening. Again, the fee for the show, just share, tag somebody in it that needs to hear it, and just any kind of support you can show us, that'd be awesome. And those that do support us already, I really appreciate all of you. So again, Coach Darren Hanson out. I appreciate you guys listening. I'm going to be putting out shorter episodes more frequently. Hopefully get the whole squad on for an episode once in a while. But yeah, today we're just going to talk about the benefit of working on speed, strength, acceleration, whatnot in the off season, and not as much having conditioning in the forefront of mind. So have a great weekend. For me, it's Friday. I love the weekend. So have a great time. And thanks, guys.